ukuba babe ne-checkers xa begodu.
These are South African heroes.
Supported by PEP, best prices and more.
Heroes are ordinary people who make themselves extraordinary. We traveled thousands of kilometers, and we found true heroes wherever we went. Join us on our journey. Kaelo's Stories of Hope starts Tuesday, 3 July at 5:30.
Now, thanks again for joining us on Sunrise. We're speaking to the African Congress Youth League, the ANC Youth League. With us in the studio, we do have Ntuli. We have the Freedom Front Plus represented with their youth leader, Voter Wessels, and the Democratic Alliance Youth Chair, Mbali Ntuli. Guys, we have to agree to disagree. We have to move forward. We've only got a few minutes left to continue the discussion. How do we move forward? Give you a chance to finish, but let's change the tone of the discussion. Let's look at something more positive. It is Youth Month. We're capping it off. How can we move forward?
Sure. I understand you're wanting us to change the tone, but I just want to respond to something Voter and Ntuli said before.
You're typical youth.
Fair and disciplined. Voter was completely right when he said that the DA is fighting for the unemployed and we're making sure that they're heard. And in fact, where you see the Democratic Alliance in governments like the Western Cape, you'll see that the youth wage subsidy has actually worked. And that you cannot dispute.
So you're saying that is the way to move forward?
No. I mean, obviously, in one instance, but it's not, as I said, the silver bullet for it. But what I want to say is that, and you know why? Won't you let me finish speaking? No, what I want to say is, just moving forward now. Certainly, what is coming out from the South African youth is that we are hopeful. We are the kind of youth that don't. We want to change the narrative of our generation. We want to move forward, and we want a government that's going to be accountable and that's going to be providing those opportunities for us. Yeah. I think that the youth of South Africa are all quite tired of the pontification and the talking that we continue to hear from certain parties. And what we actually need to see is those parties either with the policies that exist and with the funds and all the institutions that exist, making them work and making them accountable, or we need to see a change that needs to happen. The best way, obviously, is through the polls, but I think that young people in South Africa really need to rise, and this is across the board now, this is across political parties, and we really need to make a stand of what we want for our futures. Yeah. Because in our future, we can't afford to really have the kind of leadership and neglect that we've had from the government of this.
So leadership change is what we need to see.
I would definitely say so.
Voter, I mean...
We are a diverse country. We have a lot of groups, a lot of languages, a lot of cultures. We need unity in South Africa. At this stage, we only go from one sport event to the next, which then creates this kind of illusion of unity, but it's not real unity. We won't get unity, won't get prosperity from that unity if we don't stop with radicalism. And what I mean by radicalism is racism. Towards certain groups. We need to find the middle ground. We need to start to talk to each other. Maybe the youth wage subsidy is a solution. We say that there is a lot of cases where it can be abused as well, because it will be the government we have currently that will be implementing it, Andile, and that might be abused and wrongfully implemented. But we need to talk to each other. We need sustainable solutions. We look at higher education and we see that there's almost only a 20% of students who enroll for a degree who actually graduate. That's shocking. That's a lot of taxpayer money and money in South Africa that is actually wasted on those students. And then we must go and look at solutions. Why aren't they finishing? Why aren't they passing? So
we see leadership coming through and education coming through.
Okay. We need unity, we need to talk to each other, and we need to stop political abuse.
Change in leadership, unity in education, and finally with you.
No, what we have to do in
moving forward.
No, we're not moving forward. We have to prioritize education.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that each and every young South African is part of the education system. Those that are not part of the education system, they have to be part of the National Youth Service Program, where they can be able to be trained on various skills. Some of them later, they can be pilots, artisans, as engineers. It's what we're going to do, which we're happy that the policy conference of the ANC have taken that decision, which we have to move with speed on our side. But we have to make sure that funding institutions at least they make to be available for young people in this country. If they go to ITC, they go to NAF, they go to PIC, at least they must be able to be assisted. Those are running their own small businesses. If they go to the national agents, they must be able to get that assistance.
So in a nutshell, what would you say is the solution to move forward?
No, the solution to move forward is learnerships, is internships, is new.
At least we can agree. We have to go. But at least we can agree that education is the way that we all think we can move forward as a youth in South Africa. I have to cap it there, and I have to cut the conversation there. Unfortunately, sorry, Ntuli, to break your word there. The one thing that has been good about this discussion is that it's not a laugh. There have not been laughable issues on the table, but it's great that there has been some humor in the studio as well. It means that we can continue to discuss. We can continue to talk to one another. So, guys, thanks so much for joining us on Sunrise. I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. But we've been speaking to the African National Congress Youth League Executive Chairperson, Ntuli Lungisa, Freedom Front Plus Voter Vessels, and the Democratic Alliance Youth Chair, Mbali Ntuli. Let us know what you thought of the discussion. Our Facebook page is still open. We're going to an ad break. We'll see you shortly.
To comment on any content during the show, call us on 011 537 9333 or 9345.
Sunrise.
Come to Rhino Cash and Carry and celebrate our big cash savings. Get 10 kg price super maize meal for a crazy R38.99 and 450 gram new Dan candles at a low R10.99. We've got 2-liter Coke, Coke Light, Coke Zero, and Tab for only R12.99. And buy the Nokia 1280 cell phone with Vodacom SIM card and 18 Rand airtime for a crazy R129.99. Rhino Cash and Carry, igama ongaletemba.
You get all the attention because of your looks. That's because I look after myself.